So perhaps the easy starting point is the issue of diversity. What is diversity? And that is a topical issue now. It is a very simple idea that perhaps we have not paid attention to, but has been, is part of, if I may say, wisdom of any way of doing things. If you talk to and only associate yourself with like-minded people, you're not challenged, you don't get different views. And so at the very basic definition of diversity is almost the flip side of inclusion, is have participation, whether it is in a simple gathering, a simple meeting, decision making, different views and different people participating, so you have all perspectives. If you think about it, and again outside of the company, but in the context of government, you have men, you have women, you have the disabled, you have the elderly, and the concept of diversity has always existed in the way we organize our political setting. We want everybody to be represented in parliament, in the local leadership, so that if you're making a decision, then the women can say, but this affects us this way. The men can say, but the disabled can say, but have you thought about it this way, and so on. If you think about it in a company has several stakeholders, and its activities impact several people. You may talk about shareholders, but you also have customers, you have suppliers. You also have to think ahead and say, but who is going to be our customer? Who is going to be interested in us as a company tomorrow? Who is interested in the services that we offer? And so if you don't open up, if you don't think about all these stakeholders and different perspectives to the way you bring thinking onto the table, you might find that you miss out on important insights from people that you do not have with you at the table. The issue initially started as a matter of inclusion, and specifically gender inclusion, because it was seen that boards had a lot of, were dominated by men. And so a lot of efforts in various jurisdictions to say, can we deal with the issue of gender inclusion on the board. But now diversity is beyond gender, okay? Diversity, and again, if you look at corporate governance standards, you should have different skills and competencies around the table to guide this company, and that depends also on the needs of the company, okay? And so if you are a company that provides, maybe you're in marketing, or you produce consumer goods, you've got to think about who are the people we need to have around the table to think about our various stakeholders or our various categories of consumers. And so, on one hand, you've had debates such as the board is too grey. In other words, too many old people on the board, or the board is skewed towards a certain gender. How can we? Now you say we are increasingly operating in a technology-driven world. Do we have people with the tech skills on the board? So it's really about diversity of skills and competencies in the boardroom, and other aspects. You can put an engineer, you can put a tech person, you can put an accountant, you can put a lawyer, you can put a businessman on the board, and you can call it diverse, but they could all be men, they could all be of a certain race. And so the idea is to also think about those aspects, that if you operate in a certain context, in a certain environment, you don't necessarily meet the criteria for diversity if it is all white men, but all the relevant skills are on the table, okay? So you think about it in terms of gender, race, representation of various stakeholders, and so on.